Here is my review of Euphoria Season 3, Episode 2, America My Dream. We're following Maddie as she works at the talent agency. She starts taking on more risky clients who are into OF content, but she gets caught and her boss instantly, tells her that she has to let her go if she wants to represent, real talent. Rue is still working for Alamo and is kind of starting a romance / friends with benefits with a dancer at the strip club named Angel. And she's feisty, and she's also wondering where her friend went, who was the girl who OD'd in the first episode. And it's just interesting that Rue knows what goes on, but is building a relationship with Angel, but then she's also thinking about Jules at the same time. Cassie and Maddie end up meeting up because Maddie wants to represent Cassie because Cassie reaches out to her about her OF content and that she needs someone who can make her a star. It's a very odd pairing, I never thought that they would be in the same room, but it's made clear that Maddie has ulterior motives to get back at Cassie. We get more of a backstory about Rue and her sobriety journey, and unfortunately she hasn't been sober this whole time. We get a heart-wrenching scene where she calls her mom and admits that she wants to get sober and is trying to do better. So it's more nuanced that Rue is sober or not at this moment. She says she's California sober, but we don't really know if she's telling the truth. Also, Alamo and Lori are going against each other. Lori calls him a pig, so then he sends a pig to her house, and it is this kind of really crazy scene where the pig is destroying the whole house, and Faye and the other people that work at Lori's business, if you could say, are what the hell's going on? And it was Alamo that sent the piggy over. We also get Eric Dayton in this episode, and he is talking to Nate about if he is in financial problems or not, when Nate lies to him, but he really is. He owes $550,000, I believe, and he has to pay at least $100,000 by Friday or Sunday. So he's going through it with the financials. And there's definitely a little bit of a theory with people that he is Jules' sugar daddy. And then Rue is in charge of taking Angel to a rehab, in quotations, because I personally don't believe that it's a rehab. No one else does, but yeah, he brings her there, and there's no paperwork that has to be filled out. The lady is really weird, and it's just how they shot it. You definitely can tell that we aren't going to see Angel anymore. Whatever happens, we don't really know, but I think it's pretty obvious. And then Rue is is there any paperwork? What's going on? And the lady just is bleak and says no, and Rue leaves, and that's that. Rue goes to New York and visit Jules and tries to reconnect, and it's kind of a cute moment, but Jules is very apprehensive, and Rue is kind of saying that she's sober, and then Jules is well, this is probably the last place you should be then, because, of their whole dynamic throughout season 2. And it was cute, but toxic. And then Jules goes to take a bath, and she's are you gonna keep me company? And Rue ends up staying the night, which, old habits die hard, so let's see if they keep going, if they're endgame, or if they're gonna break up. I hope Rue stays sober, so then Jules and her can, be endgame and be so cute together. And that is how the episode ends. Let me know what you guys thought below. I actually enjoyed this episode a lot better than 1. I probably give it a 7 or an 8. Jules is definitely a necessity to this season, and I just think the lore is kind of building up, and it's starting to feel a little bit messy like the old Euphoria, but with a touch of the new vision that they're trying to implement. And I kind of like where all the characters are going, and the whole Angel thing was kind of hard to watch, but I don't know, it fit Euphoria's, tough vibe of, sometimes it's hard to watch, but yeah, what do you guys think happens to Angel? Do you think she's going to come back, or was that her final scene? And what do you guys think about Maddie is gonna be Cassie's OnlyFans manager? And do you think Rue is going to stay sober and end up with Jules? I want to know what you guys think below.